Test, test. Test, test.
Good. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone has, on behalf of the board and the staff, I hope everyone has a great holiday season, safe and healthy and happy with your family and friends. Tonight's a big night for us because we're honoring Mr. LaGrange Park tonight. Clarence has been with us for a long time, and I don't know what we're going to do without you, Clarence. You're a kind man, you're a professional man, you're everything they say about you, and it's been a privilege to work with you. Okay. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can Megan call the roll?
Trustee Lautner.
Here.
Trustee Zara.
Here.
Trustee Council.
Here.
Trustee Sheehan.
Here.
Trustee Stewart.
Here.
Trustee Silva.
Here.
President DeCipio.
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. First on the agenda is a recognition of Clarence on his retirement, serving the village from 1994 to 2022. In July of 1994, the Public Works Department hired Clarence to fill a vacancy when Dan Pops Williams retired. Almost instantly, Clarence took over the street sweeper duties as Eugene Williams was ready for retirement, who was the primary sweeper operator at the time. During his time in Public Works, he assisted in all facets of Public Works and was an integral part of the Public Works family and the LaGrange Park family as a whole. The community recognized his dedication, pride, and hard work for over 28 years of service to the citizens of LaGrange Park. Clarence, now who's got it made? You got it made. But thank you for all that you've given our village and our community, and you'll be gone but not forgotten. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to our director now.
All right, Clarence, you got to come and join me up here, buddy. And before I begin, I'd like Clarence to introduce his family that's here.
Okay, there's my wife, Vera, and Gian, my granddaughter, Anaya, and my daughter, Tanya.
Thank you all for being here. Also, in the last two rows here, we have every member of the Public Works Department minus one. But guys, I all appreciate you all being here and for this special day for Clarence. All right, I'm going to try to make this a little short, but here we go. Tonight's a special night. Not only is this the last board meeting of the year, but I also have a great pleasure of recognizing one of our own, Clarence Angion, on his upcoming retirement. Clarence began his career with the village in 1994 and has spent the last 28 and a half years serving this community with the utmost pride and dedication to this village ever since. It baffles me to think of the miles he drove through the community performing tasks such as snow plowing and street sweeping to make the streets safe and clean for our public, or how many potholes he filled in his career, how many street patches he did, how many branches and leaves he picked up, and how many water main breaks he worked on during sub-zero temperatures many after plowing all night long. The list goes on, as Clarence never shies away from any task. His phone is always on. Before working for the village, Clarence had many jobs, including being a professional roofer. He often fixed and repaired poor roofing sections at our own Public Works Department. Several times, huh? He continued roofing as a side business, and I would not doubt it if he still gets on a ladder from time to time. And actually, that's why he's got the nickname Squirrel, for most of you that don't know. I want to go back to the word career that I stated earlier. Who would ever think a career in public works could be rewarding? Well, the word career in the Webster Dictionary says a profession for which one trains and which is undertaken as a permanent calling. I do believe that Clarence made it his calling to serve the village and its residents of LaGrange Park to the best of his abilities, day in and day out. Clarence would usually be the first to work in the morning, usually no later than 6 a.m. I felt sorry for his coworkers that arrived and walked into the break room feeling hungry, as the aroma of freshly baked breakfast would linger in the room. He would cook for himself like bacon, eggs, pancakes, waffles. Man, I'm getting hungry. I was talking with his wife Vera the other day, and we were discussing some of the things that we were going to be doing for the upcoming events for Clarence. During the conversation, in several of the conversations, she repeatedly mentioned that he was blessed to work for the village. Clarence, nobody is more blessed than the village, its residents, and your coworkers, past and present, at the Public Works Department. We are honored to have worked alongside you for all these years. You'll be missed, never forgotten, but it's time for you to begin another chapter in your life. May God bless you, keep you healthy and safe. P.S. Do not turn off your phone just yet. I feel a snowstorm coming on before the end of the year. Will everybody please rise up and help applaud Clarence for his dedicated years of service. All right, two more quick things here. We have a plaque here for Clarence that he's going to be able to keep, but I'm going to read it here real quick. It says, over 28 years of service, Clarence Angion, Department of Public Works. Congratulations on your retirement. Wishing you the best of health and happiness as you begin your next chapter, and it's got the village logo.
I would love to be with Clarence.
This could be a great photo.
Oh, no, it would, Rick? Yeah, no.
Well, I'll do it all. All right, thank you so much. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words? You don't have to, but.
Well, I would like to say thank you for having me here all of these years. It's been a task which I enjoyed, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one. You've been great. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. She should have been the one talking.
God bless you, man.
God bless you. God bless you. Take care.
You too. Thank you, Clarence.
Okay, moving on. Next on our agenda is public participation of agenda and non-agenda related items. So if anyone would care to address the board, please step up to the mic and give us your name.
My name is Jason Kornick. I have some bullet points so I can keep on track. As a business owner of Grange Park, I have several business concerns. Video gaming is not what this village needs. If anything, this would deter customers from dining at our establishments. These are family restaurants, and as a family I know, including my own, we do not go out of our way, and we do avoid establishments with video gaming. We want to enjoy a meal out with our family and not watch people gamble their money away. The village has more important things to spend its resources on. These buildings need to be to code and ADA compliant. Sprinkler systems, grease traps, electrical panels, restaurants, ramps, all need to be to code. These are things that need to be updated in order to keep our community safe. You want to give more opportunities to these businesses by allowing video gaming, but they don't even follow the basic guidelines now. We wanted to put a tent outside of the restaurant for the winter and was asked to sprinkle a temporary structure. These businesses are looking to make more revenue, but in the past 4 and 5 meetings, I haven't heard any of these businesses talk about how it would better their business or their employees. Are they going to use the revenue to pay their employees more? Pay for their health care for their employees? No, they're going to use the revenue to better themselves personally and not their business and not our community. I haven't seen one owner of any business here, just the managers, who can't even hold a liquor license or even a gambling license. During COVID, Postal 31 kept its entire staff. We did not lay off one person. We paid them all. We pay half of our workers' health care. When times get tough, you have to think outside the box in order to get more revenue and retain good staff. Looking at gambling to replace numbers is not a business model. My wife and I are looking to purchase more property in the Grange Park, as some of you already know, for future endeavors, but allowing video gaming would be a big detour for us and my family. We love this community, but allowing video gaming would greatly affect property's value. This is going to open Pandora's box. You can put in place all the guidelines you want and restrict what you want, but it is not realistic and not easy to restrict it. More businesses will fight to get in. The litigation will cost you guys a ton of money. Any amount of money you will make from video gambling will go to the attorneys who are going to fight and fight and fight. We don't need this. If you are going to not run for election, I ask you not to vote for this. This affects our community. If you're not going to run, do not vote for this. This affects the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jason. Anyone else care to address the board?
Good evening. My name is Caroline Domagalski. I am a resident here in Grange Park, and I also happen to sit on the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm here actually to talk to the board about the same issue, video gaming. I would like to commend the board for not allowing video gaming in the village to this point. I look at similar communities that are adjacent to us, LaGrange, Western Springs, and you go to their commercial districts and they do not have video gaming. And that's part of the reason those places are attractive to visit. The village has made so many investments in 31st Street with the signage we've done, the placemaking, you know, the matters that have come before the Planning and Zoning Commission just in the last couple years. Posto's made big investments. You know, the strip mall where 7-Eleven is has made big investments, all to make that stretch of 31st Street a really attractive place to go and have dinner with your family. And I feel so strongly that if video gaming were allowed in our establishments, it would just be a negative draw to the community. It would be a knock on our commercial district, which has come so far in the 11 years that I have lived here. I really think that, yeah, I know there's probably a lot of pressure on everyone. We all want to see our businesses succeed, but the success of our commercial district is in showing the positive investment and and having places that you want to bring your family to and have a nice dinner and not see people, you know, unfortunately gambling is an addiction, and you know, I think in a lot of ways the state has set towns up to have this discussion, and it's really almost not fair. But I think it's a huge negative, and I love that we've distinguished ourselves from the communities that do allow it. So that's what I think, and I know that, you know, talking to my neighbors and other friends in LaGrange Park, they feel the same. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you. I am Lori Whitman, president of the LaGrange Park Library Board, and this is Gabe. Everybody knows Gabe as so. I'd like to speak to you a little bit about our renovation project that we have going on. We're finally about ready to begin a much needed and anticipated repair and renovation of the library. We'll make necessary repairs to the east and west walls and additionally upgrade service areas throughout the library to meet the needs of patrons now and in the future. We recently have completed the parking lot repair. The proposed changes will enhance our already great library. We've been conservative in our approach. Even so, we're over where we want to be. We have reduced the scope by over $1 million, but we're still asking the village for some relief. It appears we will have to relocate library services for a portion of the time of the construction, so we're looking for alternative locales to continue the service that all are familiar with. We've already cast a wide net looking for such space to limited success. We're pursuing any and all avenues for some relief, including waiver of permit fees, space for relocation during construction. Anything else you can do to help us through this phase would be much appreciated by us and patrons as well. Thank you for your consideration. And do you have any questions at all?
Any of the board have any questions for Lori?
Gabe, did you want to add some things?
Sure. I'm the mononymous Gabe. Everyone knows me, apparently. I just want to reiterate that the libraries, I think, we value our place in this community, and we are going to continue offering services throughout the community, even during library closures. We'll continue offering services at the two retirement communities, and do school visits for kids, and do home deliveries for seniors and folks with disabilities. So even when we're closed, we're hoping to still become a really remain a really valuable part of the community. So thank you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, Lori. I think it's a great thing that you're investing in our community again by renovating the library, and it's a well-needed renovation, and we appreciate that you're doing that. I know there are some aspects that the village does waive, permit fees and things like that, but we'd be certainly willing to sit down and see what else we could do to help your endeavor.
That'd be great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Gabe. Anyone else care to address the board? Austin? No, not yet? Okay. Okay, next up we have Administration Committee, Trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. My discussion includes the first topic, Village Complex Boardroom remodel. The general background. Included in the fiscal year 22-23 budget is $100,000 for Village Hall boardroom improvements. Staff recently met with two companies, FH Passion, who currently has the state contract, and Futurity 19 Incorporated. Both companies came on site to review the project before they provided us with a proposal. Included in this packet are the proposals and full scope of work from both FH Passion and Futurity 19 Incorporated. A basic breakdown of the major work to be completed is listed below. The boardroom would get new carpet tiles, paint, composite base molding, ceiling tiles, and grid. The president's office would get new carpet tiles and vinyl base molding. The conference room would get new carpet tiles and vinyl base molding. The police sergeant's office would get new carpet tiles and vinyl base molding. The quote received from FH Passion is $80,600. The quote given from Futurity 19 Incorporated is $89,715. Recommendation. This item is for discussion and action. Additional information is provided in the attached documentation, and staff can provide additional info during the meeting. Staff feels that it is imperative to move forward on the proposal with FH Passion so that the material can be ordered and work can be completed prior to the end of the 22-23 fiscal year. In addition, staff is requesting that the village board approve the full budgeted amount of $100,000 to cover any unexpected issues that may arise during demolition or ancillary costs. Would you like me to read the motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, the motion action requested, motion to approve the proposal from FH Passion with a not to exceed amount of $100,000, and two, to authorize the village manager to execute the necessary documents.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've been having this in the queue for quite some time, and I think it's a necessity. One concern that I do have, and I don't know if anybody out in the audience can address it, but I know none of the quotes showed any itemization for remediation should the need arise. So I wasn't quite sure how do we deal with all of that if it does come up.
I'll be happy to address that. To our knowledge, there is no need for remediation. So the work that you're looking at is, it mostly includes this particular room, and then some replacement of carpeting over in the police department. I'm not aware that we're going to need any remediation. I'm not aware that there's any mastic here in this particular room that would be of any concern to us. You know, because there's no linoleum in this room. So we had that conversation with FH Passion. We've had that conversation about other locations in the building, but the areas that we're looking at, we don't have any concerns about remediation. But it's a good it's a really good question.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Julia.
the question.
Well, because it's.
Want to add anything, Tim?
I think one of the concerns that both contractors had was when they removed the existing wallpaper off of the walls, how much patching that they're going to have to do to smooth out the wall. So I think that was one of their concerns, is when they strip the wallpaper off in this room, is it going to take more of the plaster or drywall with it, which is going to require them to have to retouch up the walls, which of course would be an additional expenditure.
Okay, thank you. Moving along.
Is that any of your comments?
Well, yeah, I'm satisfied as long as there's no concern that the company, the Passion has for remediation, any necessary remediation.
Okay.
So
I
I'm
think we've been
good with
told
that.
that.
Thank you.
That's no, thank you. Any other comments from any other board members? Trustee Lautner? Yes. I'm sorry, Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, a couple of questions. Is there any part of what's here now or in any of the other spaces that will be salvaged? I think somewhat recently we replaced lights and made some upgrades. Will those be reserved? Will it all be new? What's the current?
So the lighting would stay the same. It'd be a 2x2 grid ceiling. So instead of the 2x4 tiles, you'd have 2x2. It would also include all new returns in the ceiling. But the lighting itself would stay. The existing sound system would stay. They would remove all the old wires from the old sound system. But other than that, everything else would be removed.
One of the things that we had talked about during budget time was the need for expanding available space for meetings as more groups within staff, et cetera, outside entities required to get together, and obviously the room is not real accommodating to multiple meetings outside of board meetings. I'm talking about staff meetings and on a day in and day out basis, and so I'm curious if there was a continuation of that discussion. Any thoughts along those lines that would provide the availability of additional meeting space, which I know has been a concern, and where all that discussion might stand.
So this was the revised version. The initial estimate that we got exceeded $250,000. In the fiscal year 22-23, the village only budgeted $100,000. So we had to modify the initial scope of work so that we were fall within that $100,000 allotted amount.
So thoughts down, the need still remains, of course, for additional space. What's the thinking along those lines? Is that kind of set up for the next budget meeting, or where does all that stand? Because obviously within the pews and seating arrangements and curtains and all those things, which I'm sure were part of that 225,000 bid. So where's the thinking with that?
You're exactly right. So to continue to complete the full scope of what we intended to do, we will have to continue to include it into future budgets. The quote that we got for furniture would barely be contained in the total budget for the project. So what remains, that we wanted very much to get the dais redone. We think that there's a lot of value in doing that. It's just not in the budget for us this year. We can't get that done. We won't be able to buy any furniture unless if we identify some savings and keep the costs down low, then maybe we can purchase some of the furniture up to the total budget cost. But moving on into the next budget cycle, we will have to look about the costs associated with the dais. We'll have to look at the continued improvements throughout the village hall as it relates to other workspaces. We have very old carpeting throughout the building, throughout the police department as well. We will continue to identify those improvements. Staff feels that we should be keeping up these public spaces to make sure that, they're clean, they look relatively nice, that they're nice meeting spaces. And I agree with you. I think that there is a potential for this very large room to be potentially divided into two with some sort of a convertible divider that can turn it into a couple of places, right? So we can look at that. We did talk about dividing the room by types of flooring.
Sure.
Everything was just so far beyond what we could afford. We just kept it to, well, what do we know? What do we know we need to do, and what will fit in the budget? And that's how, we prioritize. We prioritize with the assistance. I mean, Jamie helped us prioritize because she could give us kind of some sage advice on materials, and that helped a lot. But as a team, we worked together to figure out what needed to be done. Hopefully I hit all the high points. Mr. President, I did want to make a comment back to Trustee Consul's original question because I forgot to mention it. We had FH Passion out on 3 occasions. They inspected all of the areas for improvement. The first meeting that they came out, they had a full team of every, industry area when they looked at the site. So we're pretty confident that they really understood what we were looking for. And as we toured the site and we talked about any potential remediation, I feel as a result of their getting to know our space and continuing on with the work that they have done already, they did the lobby, they did the front hallway, we feel confident that that the scope of work that they provided is the work that is going to be done. There are always surprises. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'll let you know if it does.
And did those projects come in pretty close to bid and budget, of course?
Great question, yes.
Yeah, okay. Just as a matter of information, do we know when the last time this was decorated? I mean, building was built, what, 74, 75, probably at least once in them? 75? Yeah.
You guys know, right?
I think the wallpaper is original.
Okay.
So I think that's 1976,
Yeah,
and
75,
I think the carpet in this room was done probably
Okay,
15 years ago.
okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate Trustee Lautner's questions. He touched on a couple of things, making this room more user-friendly. I did have a question about the furniture and kind of sprucing up the dais, so those were addressed. That's good. I have no problem voting yes for FH Passion. They're reputable. They do quite a bit of work. I would ask, since they're going to get more than likely get a $100,000 contract, that in the future they don't make mistakes like they did on the November 28th letter where they addressed us 3 times as the Village of LaGrange. So I think that's just a mistake, common mistake, but nonetheless, if somebody was going to pay me $100,000, I would dot my I's and cross my T's. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Any other comments?
Just as a quick matter of reference,
Yes.
I did notice that, and I do have an updated proposal from November 29th.
Ask and you shall receive. Thank you.
Trustee Sheehan would like to proof that, please?
Please.
Okay, seeing no other comments, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Continue on, Trustee Council.
The next item is the village computer network server replacement. The general background on this is the village and Public Works computer network servers have both exceeded their life expectancy and are due for replacement. Since the village recently installed fiber, the 2 servers can be consolidated into one. The current version of Microsoft Server is also approaching its end-of-life cycle and will no longer be supported. The village has budgeted for the replacement of the servers in the current fiscal year and would like to proceed with the replacement as soon as possible. The village has a contract with All Information Services, Inc., or AIS, to provide ongoing information technology support and planning for the village's computer network system. As the village's IT consultant, AIS recommends that the village authorize AIS to purchase the new server hardware from Dell, and AIS will build a custom server to meet the village's needs. Attached is a quote from AIS in the amount of $31,664.40 for the purchase of the server hardware, licensing software and applications, as well as associated labor. The total estimated cost for the project is $31,664.40, which is less than the village's budgeted amount of $44,630. The total cost for the server replacement project exceeds the village manager's authority. If approved, the village will proceed with ordering the computer network server components. AIS anticipates that once it receives the server components, it will be able to build and install the new server and migrate all users to the new server within 8 weeks. Staff recommendation: AIS has an existing relationship with Dell, and therefore they are able to obtain the hardware at a discount of several hundred dollars, under the price the village would pay by directly purchasing from Dell. Staff recommends that the village proceed with purchasing the necessary equipment through AIS. This item is for discussion and action. I'd like to make a motion to waive the competitive bid process and to authorize the village's IT consultant, AIS, to purchase and install a new computer network server in the amount not to exceed $32,000.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Trustee Council?
I believe that AIS has our best interest in hand, and they've served us well for several years, if I'm not mistaken. And if they can get the job done and have everybody up and online within 8 weeks, I definitely am in agreement with this.
Any other comments from any board members? Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. What I was a little unclear, we're going from 2 servers to 1, correct? And just as a matter of course, how will redundancy or backup be handled? Or their guaranteed uptime commitment?
They're like an offsite in case of a crash, or how does that work since we're going from 2 to 1?
I know we have backup because we've had backup in place for a long time. If you give me a minute, I'll call someone and I'll get you your answer.
Well,
I should know
yeah,
it, but I don't have it
yeah.
right off the top of my head. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we have backup in the cloud. We have a virtual backup. But if you give me a minute, I can check.
Well, I'm not sure if it's that convenient. That would be fine. And I'm sure it will need to be addressed, but, just as a matter, just on the surface, we're going from 2 servers down to 1. I just want to be comfortable that backup redundancy is provided, or with an uptime availability guarantee that they're committed to serving on a 24/7 basis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The 2 servers did not provide redundancy for one another. They were separate servers. The reason that we're moving from 2 down to 1 is because our new fiber network system allows for us to just have 1. So there's no need for the Public Works Department to have their own separate server apart from the system. So the system is just becoming, because of fiber network cable between the buildings and the connectivity, it allows us to consolidate the server at one location. And we do have backup. It's escaping me right this second.
Well, it sounds like then if the functionality of the Public Works server is being migrated to the one that's in place, nothing has changed with our current backup resources.
That's right.
Gotcha.
And that server at Public Works is probably 10, 12 years old, somewhere around there. I mean, it's just pretty ancient, so, we had to have that because we hosted some specific programs that needed to be on a server size system. And because of now the fiber install, we can, like I said, everything could be consolidated into that one.
Right. Well, I think I would be comfortable just, understanding that nothing's changed with our backup resources and their commitment to the uptime availability that they've already committed to for many years to us. All that sounds like it's changing. So the only reason for the second servers was to offload processing demand. So, there shouldn't have been any change with going to a single server then. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Understand.
Thank you, Trustee
for the
Lauder.
clarification.
Any other comments?
No. Mr. President?
Yes, Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. AIS has served us well. Normally, as you guys know, I'm not usually a big fan of waiving the competitive bid process, but when we can come in $12,965.60 under the budget, I'm comfortable with this.
Great. Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Launer,
Yes.
Trustee Zara,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Stewart,
Yes.
Trustee Silva.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Continue on, Trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next agenda item is the amendment to the LaGrange Park Municipal Code, alcoholic beverages section. The general background: the dinner club located at 359 North LaGrange Road is a restaurant with a Class B liquor license, which allows for the sale of wine and beer either in the original package or for consumption on the premises. Recently, as a result of the pandemic, the owners modified their business model to eliminate the dine-in option for customers and support carry-out and delivery options only. The owners have identified that a Class F liquor license, which authorizes the retail sale of alcoholic liquor not for consumption on the premises, is better suited to the new business model. This month, the dinner club submitted a letter to the liquor commissioner requesting to change from a Class B to a Class F liquor license. According to the village's municipal code, a Class F liquor license may be issued to retail and other service establishments whose primary business is preparation and serving of food other than alcoholic beverages, not for consumption on the premises, and who provide catering, banquet, and box lunch service to the public or to members of clubs or to guests of members of clubs. The first year fee for a Class F liquor license is $500, and the annual fee is $100. The municipal code also regulates the total number of permanent liquor licenses, but it does not currently authorize a total number of Class F licenses. In order for the dinner club to obtain a Class F license, the village board would need to pass an ordinance to establish the total number of available liquor licenses. Staff has prepared the attached ordinance amending the municipal code to establish that the total number of available Class F liquor licenses shall not exceed 1. If the ordinance is approved, the village president, as liquor control commissioner, has the sole administrative authority to issue the new license under section 112.16 if the applicant meets the criteria. The village board does not vote on whether to issue the licenses to specific businesses. Staff recommends approval of the attached ordinance. This item is for discussion and action. I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance amending Chapter 112, Section 20 of Title 11 of the LaGrange Park Municipal Code.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Council.
The dinner club has been a mainstay in the village for quite a while, and I think that it's a great place to patronize, and anything that we can do to help them, because they are a small business and they show, a lot of concern, and I definitely think that we need to help them along the way as much as we can. So I would be in favor of giving them the license. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Zora?
I just had a question. Did they request to change the class, or did we request it? They requested it. Okay. Okay, that was all. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zara,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Stewart,
Yes.
Trustee Silva.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And continue on, trustee council?
Collective bargaining agreement, IUOE Local 150. The purpose is to approve a new collective bargaining agreement between the village and IUOE Local 150. The general background, the 3-year collective bargaining agreement between the Village of LaGrange Park and the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 150, IUOE, excuse me, expired on April 30th, 2022. The IUOE represents the employers in the Public Works Department. Following the expiration of the agreement, the village and IUOE discussed the terms of a successor collective bargaining agreement. The village board has reviewed the salient terms of a 3-year successor agreement covering the period May 1, 2022 through April 30th, 2025, which provides for following changes. Would you like me to read all the changes? Okay.
Everybody's read them. Thank you.
Other provisions of a collective bargaining agreement have been modified as follows. Section 5.10, on-call duty. The language was revised to increase the number of hours paid for on-call duty pay from 2 hours to 3 hours. And then section 22.2, certification incentive. The language restricting the number of employees who may receive certification pay for an arborist license was removed. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion to move to approve a resolution authorizing execution of collective bargaining agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 150 Public Employee Division and the Village of LaGrange Park.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee council?
I'm glad they finally came to an agreement, and I'm sure that this will benefit the employees as well as, the village. So I'm all in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee council. Any other comments? Trustee Lautner?
Just to express appreciation to staff to the long negotiation process and bringing this to conclusion. I think these are some positive improvements for staff, of course, and for the village. Our resources protected as well, and some improvements, I think some good improvements for the employees. So thanks for your extended efforts in continuing and bringing this to a close.
Yeah, and I'll extend it further to include our village attorney too, Kathy, who has always done a remarkable job for us and has the best interests of the village at hand. So thank you, Kathy. And thank you, staff, for all that you do. I know negotiations are tough sometimes, but you come through. So thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zara,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Stewart, Trustee Silva.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, trustee council.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Yes,
if I may, Mr. President,
Sure.
I have the answer on the server backup.
shoot, go.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry.
So,
Go. Shoot.
so I received a response from Jeff Pieta. He's the owner of AIS. And he responded that, yes, you have a server backup that backs up the data locally and to the cloud for disaster recovery. From our representative, John LaCar, he said that the local backup is segregated. It's a segregated backup, and then replication to the cloud for disaster recovery. So that is not changing. I just wanted to make sure I got that information back to you while I had it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Julia. Okay. Before we move on, trustee Zora, I'm going to move up, use some presidential privilege. Our next finance director treasurer is here with his parents, and I don't want to keep them waiting any longer because they did come from a long way, and we really appreciate that you came here to support Austin. We're going to move that up. So Julia, I'm going to move you up next to your village manager discussion. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President.
told you,
I'm
right?
almost there. Just one moment, Austin. I'm the only one in the room with the paper copy.
When I looked at you and did this, I thought we knew. Okay.
I was getting the other data, I'm so sorry. My apologies. Okay. So this is exciting news. This is what we've been waiting for. I'm really excited. So rather than me provide my report here, can I provide it up at the
Yes.
microphone? Austin, if you would, please come up here.
I would just make one comment though, Julie, if I may.
Absolutely.
I met Austin before the IML conference, and when I was down at the IML conference, I'm sitting there, and this gentleman comes up next to me, and it was Austin, and he wasn't even employed yet. I mean, he was under consideration. I think we did employ him, but we're still waiting for other issues to develop. And you came up to me and introduced yourself, and I just felt that it was just such a nice gesture on your part, and what a way to start a relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Village Board of Trustees, I would like to introduce you to Austin Hack. This is Austin. Concluding.
Wait, we didn't say it right?
Hakey. Oh no, and that was caught on camera. Hakey. Come closer, Mr. Hakey. We will get through this together. Okay. Mr. Hakey, so I want to talk a little bit about the search that we did. So we did not conduct this search internally. We enlisted the services of GovHR USA to do a recruitment for this position. Once our previous finance director left, we wanted to make sure that we had every opportunity to hire the best and the brightest that was out there for us. We take here in the village, our fiduciary responsibility is of the utmost priority for us. We've really focused, as a village board and staff, we've really focused on that for decades. We all know how important it is and all the improvements that have been made to policies, the budget, and the procedures that we have in the finance department. We have 3 years in a row received an award for our comprehensive audit report. That's been fantastic. So we wanted to make sure that we got it right with the new finance director. So I introduced to you Mr. Austin Hakey. Austin comes to us from the village of Dwight, Illinois, where he has served as a finance director there for 7 years. In his role, he has done just about everything. Including, most recently, you've been working to help the village put in another TIF district. He provides information for the budget, for the audit. There really isn't anything he hasn't done. He's done collective bargaining. He's gone through audits. He has been in charge of human resources and personnel. He really is the jack of all trades and really has the breadth and depth of experience for the finance director position here, and we are so excited to have him. He, as a finance director here in LaGrange Park, he will also take on the role of village treasurer, which means that Megan is going to do the honors to swear him in this evening as treasurer, so we'll do that in just a second. I just want to say this has been a long time coming. But we're so glad that you're here, and we're so glad to be able to share this evening with your parents who took the drive to be here. So thank you so much. I'll let you have the opportunity to introduce them. Megan, should we go ahead and do the swearing in first? And then from there, Austin can introduce his parents.
Do the motion first?
Absolutely, for your consideration.
See why she's clerk?
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, so let's do the motion. Somebody needs to make the motion. Trustee Sheehan, go ahead.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to appoint Austin Hakey as Finance Director and Village Treasurer effective December 19th, 2022.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Now we're official.
Good call.
That's why she's
Okay,
clerk.
I'm going to step aside for this.
If you could just raise your right hand for me.
I'll try. I just had surgery.
Oh, geez. Okay. Do your best. Oh, boy. I'll read really fast. Okay. Do you, Austin Hakey, having been duly appointed to the office Finance Director and Village Treasurer in the Village of LaGrange Park in the state of Illinois, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of LaGrange Park Village Treasurer to the best of your ability? If so, say I do.
I do.
Congratulations.
So before Austin introduces his parents, I will just say a couple of words about Austin's background. He has served there for the Village of Dwight as finance director for the last 7 years, so since 2015. Austin has a Bachelor of Science degree in financial accounting from Illinois State University and an Associates of Arts degree from Joliet Junior College, and is preparing to sit for the CPA exam in the near future. And now, Austin, I'm turning it over to you to introduce your family.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me. I know it's been a long time coming. I made you wait a little bit. Sorry, the shoulder didn't want to work out with you guys. With me is my mom. Her name is Kim. She actually lives in Shanahan now, a little bit closer to you guys. And my dad is Roger. He lives in Dwight. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kim and Roger, for being here this evening. Okay, well, welcome, congratulations, and welcome. And if you'd like, you can say hi to the village board. Up ahead, you can just go right up there.
Yeah.
No handshakes.
No handshake. Right?
Good luck. Thank you very much.
Good luck. Okay. Welcome aboard.
Oh, sure, yeah. Good try. Welcome.
Austin, welcome aboard. And, you know, the environment around here is we consider ourselves one big family here. And to see Roger and Kim come up here and support their son the way that they have, I mean, they didn't just come from LaGrange or Elmhurst. They came up to support you, and that's what family's all about. So thank you both for being here for Austin and showing your support. And Austin, thank you. Looking forward to working with you. Okay, now we get to you, Trustee Zora. I'm
Hey.
sorry, Julie, is that all that you had?
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on, Building and Zoning, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 items up for discussion and action. The first one is regarding the building department. Our building official, Deputy Building Commissioner, resigned this past November. After much discussion and consideration as to what is best for the continuity of services in the building department, staff has opted to request an updated service agreement with Lakeside Consultants and to employ the services of an interim building official through GovTemp USA. This allows time to further evaluate staffing options and advertise and conduct a hiring process with limited interruption of services. Under the new service agreement with Lakeside Consultants, they will provide for all plan review and inspection services related to construction, remodeling, and building repairs. This will not include code enforcement, engineering, plumbing, and fire, as they will remain as is for the time being. In executing an agreement for the interim building official, it is the intent that this position will work part-time hours and assist with integral day-to-day operations of the building department. Until a new position is filled, it is also planned to have the individual in this position evaluate the operations of the department to some extent, including the current use of various contractors being utilized for code enforcement and plumbing inspections, along with Lakeside. Depending upon timing, this person may help with the hiring process and or onboarding of the new employee. I have 2 motions to make. The first one is a discussion and action, or both are discussion and action, to approve professional service agreements, consulting agreements. The motion to approve a professional service consulting agreement with Lakeside Consultants dated November 29th, 2022.
Motion to have second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion, Trustee Zora.
I think this is a necessity. We can't be without a building code official, so I'm in favor of this.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora? Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
The second motion to approve a master agreement with GovTemp USA for an interim building official dated November 22nd, 2022.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Zora?
So my only question with this is that we are still internally looking for an employer. We're not hiring another agency to find an employee, correct?
I'm happy to answer that. That is correct.
Okay, yeah, and so the same goes for this. We obviously need to do this, and I think we're saving some money by having staff find our new building official. I'm in favor of this.
Thank you, trustee Zora. Any other comments from any board members? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
The second item is also for discussion and action, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing this correctly, but Solvala LLC is in the process of renovating the residence at 618 North Ashland Avenue. The subject property is a double-wide parcel located in the R1 single-family residential zoning district. The north portion of the property, Lot 8, is improved with a single-family home and detached garage. Currently, there are no structures in the south property, Lot 9. Lot 8 and 9 are two separate lots with two different PIN numbers with one owner. Under the previous ownership, this property had a history of code violations and was uninhabitable at the time of the sale. After purchasing the property in 2021, the applicant spent several months cleaning out the property and stabilizing the structure to bring it into compliance. Several structure modifications were made in 2022, including removal of a front porch, an entry, and a side bay window that extended from Lot 8 into Lot 9. Ultimately, the applicant would like to restore the home on Lot 8 and sell Lot 9 to be developed with another single-family residence. Per 153.284B of the zoning code, Lot 8 and 9 are considered to be single parcels because neither lot meets the code's requirement for lot area. That section of the zoning code states if two or more contiguous lots of record are held in common ownership or owned or controlled by related parties and one or more of the lots does not meet the requirements for lot area or lot width as established by this code, then the lots of record shall be considered to be a single undivided parcel for purposes of this code. No portion of the parcel shall be used, transferred, or conveyed which does not meet the lot width and lot area requirements established by this code. No division of the parcel shall be made which leaves the remaining lots with lot width or lot area below the requirements of this code. No building permit shall be issued for the use of any lot or portion of a lot transferred or conveyed in violation of this section. In order to divide Lot 8 and 9, the applicant has applied for the following variations. 1, to decrease the minimum lot area for Lot 8 and Lot 9 from 6,250 square feet to 6,225 square feet. And 2, to decrease the interior side yard setback from Lot 8 from 5 feet to 4.04 feet. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing regarding the application on October 18, 2022. The owner attended the hearing and provided testimony. The minutes from the meeting, court reported transcript, and approved finding and facts are in our documents. Upon conclusion of the public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the variation to decrease the minimum lot area for 8 and 9 by a vote of 5-1, and approval of the variation to decrease the southern interior side yard setback for Lot 8 by a vote of 6-0. Staff concurs with the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Committee. I also need to make 2 motions. The first motion is to approve an ordinance granting a variation for Lot 8 and 9 for 618 North Ashland for Slave LLC, case number 220007.
Do a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Zora?
Thank you. I did want to say I read through the transcripts. I did not attend the meeting, but I read through everything. And the owners have made modifications to the property in attempts to better conform with our code. I mean, they've made some pretty substantial modifications, in my opinion. And the property also is nearly already divided into 2 lots, so it's sort of a formality here that they want to divide it more. And I saw that there were many concerns about stormwater management, so I just wanted to ask Mark, again, I know this was kind of spoken about in depth at the hearing, but there are no concerns, and what are they doing? What will be the requirements for the new property that's going to be redeveloped? Are just a dry well, or is there additional stormwater management required?
Well, depending on what they, what the new lot's gonna be and what, how it's gonna be designed, it's gonna fall under the same requirements as any new lot or any new development, so nothing will change in that aspect.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Can I go to the second motion, or?
No,
do we
it's
need to-
any
Okay.
other comments? Megan, call the roll. I'm sorry, trustee
Yeah, I
Lawton?
just wanted to say, being familiar with the property as well, I think we're all happy to see that the progress is being made on improving that very difficult site. So it is good to see it moving forward.
Thank you. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
The second motion is to approve an ordinance granting a variation for interior side yard setback for Lot 8 for 618 North Ashland Avenue, Slab A, LLC, case number 22-0007.
Motion second, discussion, trustee Zora?
Thank you. And again, as I said, the property owners made a bunch of modifications. They took out a bay window that was over the property line, which pushed back their the offset that they have on that side yard setback. So I definitely approve this.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And thank you, trustee Zora.
And that is all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, I have a report. Julie, you already gave yours. Do you have anything else to add? Give me 1 second here. Here we go. Okay, Santa Parade and Food Drive. The Santa Parade, the Village of LaGrange Park Santa Parade and Mobile Food Drive will take place on Sunday, December 18th at 4:30 p.m. This festive parade will travel throughout the village and collect donations for local food pantries along the way. See the parade route. The link is online for more information, including designated food collection points. The village audit is complete. 4 of us, formerly BKD, will be here at the January 10th Village Board work session to present the suit and answer any questions. Special thanks to staff and Tom Glazer for taking us over the finish line. Planning and Zoning Commission, tomorrow evening the PZC will meet to consider an application of a subdivision for the property located at 555 North Kensington Avenue, LaGrange Park, Illinois, McNaughton Development, LLC. This is the American nuclear site. I would also like to thank Bill Allen and LTTV for all that they do for us throughout the year. And Bill, you taking time out tonight to be here with us. I want to wish you and your family a healthy, happy holiday season, and thank you for all that you and your staff do for us. Okay, now the big one. The big one, that's the motion. Okay, this is with great privilege. The village board met in executive session to review the performance of the village manager following her 11th year and determined that an adjustment to the employment agreement is warranted. Included with the memorandum is amendment to the employment agreement consistent with the village board's determination. Julia Cedillo has served as village manager since July 2011 and began her employment with the village in July 2008. Therefore, I would like someone to make a motion.
I move to authorize the village president to execute an agreement to the employment agreement. The amendment. Let me restate that. I move to authorize the village president to execute an amendment to the employment agreement.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. This gives me great privilege because I've worked with Julia for the past now 12 years as village manager. And she continually amazes me in what she's able to accomplish and what she's able to do and what she's able to bring forward to this table. Her leadership skills, assembling a team with the talent that we have around this table, and bringing together as a family and working well together with each other is just amazing. And I am continually amazed at all that Julia does for this village in representing us outside these walls and outside our boundaries. She's out there for us, every one of us, staff and board included, and I couldn't be more proud to work with somebody as I am with you, Julia. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Lautner?
Well, I could only echo your comments and how much I know that we as a group, also individually, have appreciated all that you've done for the residents of this village as well as the board. your constant focus on continuing to improve the management of this village, the fiduciary responsibility that you take on your shoulders to ensure that the people that live in this village are getting what their taxes are going toward, and making this as safe of a village as possible, you and your staff. And I know that I echoed your comments. I'm sure there are probably maybe other comments, but thank you for all of your efforts, and look forward to hopefully many years in the past. Thank you, Julia.
Any other comments from the board?
I'll
Trustee Zora?
I'll say quickly because I don't want to take up any more time. But you are a great leader for this village. I met you way before when I just became a resident here, and I was impressed by you then. So, and I still am. And thank you for all you do for our town.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for all
Any
your
other
service.
comments? Trustee Council?
Thank you, Mr. President. Julia, you're a true asset to our community, and I can't thank you enough for helping me through some really tough times. And I've seen several people in your position come and go through the years, and I don't know that any of them would have taken the effort and the time to help me personally with as many things as you have. So I really commend you for being here, and I hope that we can have many years of relationship with you. Thank you.
Before we call for the vote, I'll make one more comment. Another important thing that we have at this village is Julia has brought influence in the fact that she's not a clock watcher. Julia's here past hours, and it's been filtered down to each and every one of you at this table here. You guys are not clock watchers. You get the job done. You stay here till you get the job done, and we are so, so grateful for all that you do and the work you put in above and beyond what you're paid for. And that comes from the leader, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, I'll call for the roll. Megan?
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Congratulations. Okay, Village Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just very quickly, just wanted to provide an update. The filing period for candidates for the upcoming April 2023 election started on December 12th, and the last day for those candidates to file is December 19th. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Megan. Any new business? Seeing none, I'll enter, well, before we do that, I'd like to wish our community and everyone here Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, health and happiness to you and your families. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Okay. Oh, thank you. Jermaine?
When Mike turns his microphone on, mine will shut off.
I'll say Lautner, and then it turns off on me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah. Way through the meeting.